Hello and welcome back to Mad Men with a Box Live, our weekly live stream where we talk about the latest Doctor Who news and of course we review a random Big Finish or classic or new Who episode. I'm joined as always by Professor Pixel. Am I pointing correctly? I'm not.
I'm right
There
here.
we go. Professor Pixel, as always. Jimmy up top. And of course, our recurring non-member, our guest, Mr. Landry Q. Walker. Welcome back.
Guest, never a madman.
So, for our episode, of course, we're going to talk about the latest news that's been coming out. Not a lot because, well, the BBC isn't doing anything for Jodie's last episode, and I think we're only getting like
forget it exists.
We're only getting like bits and pieces of like the 60th, and it's always just the same thing. Like, look, there's David Tennant, he's there, and then we're going to end with our review of the Third Doctor story, The Curse of Peladon. So starting off, what do we have first for news this week?
Speaking of David Tennant, he was supposed to show up at Emerald City Comic-Con, and turns out there's scheduling conflicts and he can't show up. But the thing is, he not really dressed up. I think he was still filming some Doctor Who stuff because he hid it underneath his hoodie. He's got his hair up, so you know he's on set, and you can kind of see, the collared shirt underneath it. So it's got to be Doctor Who related. And Emerald City Comic-Con was like, okay, well, this sucks, but just you wait. There's another doctor taking his place. And then, who came in swooping because he's not doing the 60th anniversary or pretty much anything? Christopher Eccleston.
Pretty much anything. Why you gotta put it like that, Jimmy?
Pretty much anything.
I mean, he kind of says the same thing. Eccleston kind of says the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, not working much.
Yeah, that's why he does Big Finish, because he's not really a big movie star anymore, sadly.
And he needs the cash.
I mean, unfortunately, what has he been in that has been very well received since Doctor Who?
Leftovers?
He's a phenomenal actor. I want to be clear. He deserves many leading roles, but he's had some bad luck. Destro in G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Thor the Dark whatsoever? Thor the Dark whatsoever?
I mean, he hasn't been in a Star War yet. He'd be great as an Imperial officer of some kind.
Dude! I can imagine him as Thrawn.
I mean, yes, absolutely, but they're not going to cast him.
No,
dude, that would be great. No, but he was in a TV show called The Leftovers for HBO Max, written by David.
I didn't know he was in that.
David Lindelof. Yeah, he was the priest.
I haven't watched it, but I've heard of it.
He was fantastic.
I'm kind of bitter though about this because I'm going to a convention this weekend, and he was supposed to be there, but it seems that he canceled. So
he canceled to go to the bigger con, didn't he?
Well, no. I mean, this is the 14th through something. So I don't see any reason why he couldn't still go. But
see, I'm a high quality actor. I deserve the high quality.
He and
Billy, this.
Yeah, he and Billy Piper are two people from Doctor Who who've always said, "Oh, well, we're coming this time," and then canceled. It's very disheartening. I've seen David Tennant though.
Because David Tennant's a class act.
I haven't met any of the modern Doctors. I'd love to meet Capaldi, of all of them, but I've met most of the living classics at one point or another.
Yeah, I've only met one classic. That's it. I've not met any of
Peter Davison or Colin?
Peter.
Okay.
I got him. I showed before in a live stream. I got him to sign my copy of The Five Doctors.
That's right. I forgot about that.
You ambushed him in the bathroom? Oh no.
Do you mind signing this with your pen?
Slide it under the stall.
Please
sign. Like, hey Peter, I know you're in there. Sign this for me, and then I'll leave.
I think this is a good segue, though. Actually, no, it's not a good segue, because we should talk about a kind of classic Doctor. He was known as the Unbound Doctor, but sadly, David Warner has passed away. It's been a few days since this.
The man from Cold War, the Matt Smith episode, the janitor?
Yeah. That was him, yeah.
Man, I wish I saw him in better stuff.
He's Ra's al Ghul in the Batman animated series.
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding me? That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's
in quite a few things.
You know what? An action figure for every occasion. Here he is.
Hey.
Oh yeah. He was in Tron. Yeah.
This was one of the most influential movies on me. In fact, I did a 6-issue Tron comic because of it. 6-issue.
Was it good?
I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was a mind fucking. People hated it. Retroactively, people have enjoyed it, but at the time, people hated it because it was. I put bunny rabbits in it and dandelions with machine guns.
It's kind of rad, not gonna lie. It's like, I feel like sometimes when you say stuff that you've written, like people like, okay, take this with as the nicest way possible. Okay, you're like the modern X-Men writer, the one everyone hates when they write currently, but as soon as they leave, everyone thinks back and go, yeah, that was really fucking good.
Oh no, that's it. Like everyone dislikes everything I do when it's coming out, and then retroactively, like, this was so great. Like, thank you. That if you had liked it at the time, maybe I'd be working more. Tron is a great property because it's all perception and reality.
Now, if I'm mistaken, it didn't do well when it came out, but it helped. What?
It tanked when it came out. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not entirely sure on the whole history of Tron. So I just know it didn't do well when it came out, but it had like major influence with like the budget and visual effects and how they do stuff like that.
Yeah, it actually was denied its nomination for an Eisner for animation, or I think it was, or special effects, because it was considered cheating because they used computers, even though they had to hand do all the code, every line of it. Yeah, they didn't understand what they were dealing with at the time.
It's quite funny how things look in a modern lens, huh?
Yeah, I could discuss Tron for ages, but this is about David Warner and his contributions to Doctor Who, and everything he did he was a phenomenal performer, and it was heartbreaking to hear of his passing.
Yeah, he's really good as his version of the Doctor. Like, I've listened to both of his Unbound stories, and I'm about to start volume 3 of The New Adventures of Bernie Summerfield when she starts traveling with him. So, yeah, not a really good year.
No.
It's unfortunate.
Hello to Ed Brewer and Marania.
Let's put it this way. He's only 81.
What?
I know that because literally today is my grandma's 80th birthday, and she was born 1942, so I'm just adding up one more year. It's weird because it's not that far off. And like,
I understand that. It gets closer and closer every year.
Okay, Landry. You take this one over. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say because at one point you look at somebody who's 80 and you go, oh, it's an eternity. They lived a good life. But you know what? It's never enough. And he could have. I mean, he kept working to some capacity all the way up until the end. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about Eccleston before. Apparently, he has something coming out with Eccleston next year for Big Finish. So
Eccleston is what, 60 himself now?
Oh my god.
Well, okay, like I know Dave Tennant is just a little bit older than me, for the record. Like, Dave Tennant is older than me.
Can you stop making me feel old, please?
Dave Tennant is 51 currently. I'm 50. Yeah, it goes quick.
Okay.
Doom.
You know, this does lead to another conversation that Jimmy actually shared the tweet talking about how somebody shared an opinion thinking that Big Finish does a much better job with caring for the content and building the Hooniverse as it's termed by some, including RTD. So take that.
As of I was kind
Sure,
of like just sharing the meme,
Well, yes.
but sure. It says, oops, I can explain. You got 7 seasons. I only had 2. 2? I only had 1. I'm the shortest running doctor. You guys had seasons?
Because this followed by this image saying that he has no stories whatsoever, when he is really the Big Finish doctor, as it were. Jimmy, though, you saying that made me realize that if you trained it, you could get your voice to sound exactly like Colin Baker. Like when you were
Can
reading
you not
his lines.
disrespect
No,
me
I'm not
ever again?
disrespecting you. It's actually
Right.
quite. I've tried to.
You got
tried
7
to mimic
seasons.
him.
I only got 2.
Yeah, it's like right there. Like you
It's
just need
so close.
Landry, don't feed into this.
it's right on the
I
edge.
see truth.
Think about it. If you train it one day when
You know what? Let's do it. Okay. You know, voice actors have like a certain key phrase or word to get their voice into it. Like,
yes.
yeah, Patrick Troughton, his son has a key phrase of Jamie. Like, and it try to get automatically gets their brain into saying it like the way. I don't have a key for Colin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no wait, I do. You ready? Just choke him.
Shut up.
I thought you were gonna do the whole like murderer, villain.
Well, what does he
Were
call
you
the Valley
expecting
Yard all the
somebody
time?
else?
What does he always call the Valley Yard?
He calls them a bunch of things.
Yard.
Rail yard, train yard, anything he can. Barnyard. That's my
Barnyard.
favorite.
Try Barnyard.
Barnyard.
It's
It's right there.
It's preposterous.
so,
I don't get it.
You're kidding, dude.
so
I think you guys are messing with me because I don't actually hear it. I don't hear it.
Of course you don't. You're the one saying it.
exactly.
You'll have to go back and listen to this YouTube video. And you'll be like, how did Colin Baker get in our video? We're going to do a guest star of Colin Baker with you voicing him.
We'll put you in a blonde wig.
We'll interview you.
It's so good. Jimmy, maybe that's why you never cared for Colin so much, because you have this connection that you didn't realize.
All right, I'm gonna.
Oh, he's gone.
No.
He's gone.
So yeah, about this tweet. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. We got lost in the conversation. I mean, you've listened to Big Finish more than any of us, so.
I think it kind of depends on not only just which doctor, but just which characters. Because I feel like for some, it's like, okay, they definitely need to be explored more, like 8, obviously, considering he only had the movie, and then other stuff were just the novels and the comics. So I feel like it's like, well, we need to give McGann like some actual stuff, like not just his appearance, but like him as an actor. But for like other characters, it's like, I don't know, did we really need to build up on this? Like my kind of go-to, even though I haven't listened to it, so I can't comment on the quality of the story or the box set. The Year of Martha Jones, that box set just seems so trivial. It's like, why would that be a story that needed to be told? Did we really need to know? We already got the basis of it in Last of the Time Lords. You just spent a year finding a weapon.
That's all we needed to
No.
know.
That
Less
was
is
actually
more.
a lie. Yeah, less is more. So I think it just kind of, it depends on which character you're using. Some definitely need it, and Big Finish does a better job of caring for the content and building the universe. And for others, it's kind of trivial. It's not really necessary.
I think it's only because I think there's something in their contracts to say they can't change canon that we've seen on screen. So they have to actually think about how it fits into canon.
Yeah. How to build upon it without contradicting it.
I'm also going to say that I think that like Nicholas Briggs and those involved actually care about making it fit.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something that's important too. They care about the continuity, and thus trying to get it to fit into place is key to them for the stories being told.
Okay. So before I go into what I'm about to say, this could have been a dream. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. All I remember is I think someone said, Christopher Eccleston said, Nicholas Briggs doesn't know what he's doing. He's not that smart.
Yes. He said that he can't do the voice of a Dalek.
No. I knew that. No, but I think it might have been a dream. Forget it.
Yeah, I haven't heard him talk anything negative about Nick Briggs other than insulting the voice of the Daleks.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. He goes, he needs some work. We're like, that's the voice of the Daleks, dude.
I mean, I'm going to say, as somebody who came to, I heard a lot of Daleks before Nicholas Briggs, and Nicholas Briggs is the definitive Dalek for me. Like, that is, there's no doubt for me. Like, he does it perfectly.
Yeah, I'm working through Emancipation of the Daleks right now, and it's read by oh crap, who does the voice for Strax?
Dan Starkey.
Yeah.
But they have Nicholas Briggs doing the voice of the Daleks anytime they appear. So whenever it comes in, it's just it fits so well.
Yeah, I agree.
But actually, we did talk about Christopher Eccleston a little bit. There is one more topic of discussion that we wanted that he brought up, but maybe he didn't. This tweet was shared where somebody said, apparently, "You're definitely no John Barrowman," and he responded, "You are absolutely correct."
You are absolutely.
It could mean so many things, especially depending on when he actually posted that, because we don't know how old that is.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I think it's real because he does post this type of crap all the time.
In this instance,
we all know his opinions on the Queen.
I'm not questioning whether it's real. I'm saying that is so vague that it's almost meaningless.
It could be, it could mean anything. Yeah. It
but
could be,
we assume.
We assume it's about the obviously Barrowman's antics.
Yeah.
Right. But he may have posted this before those antics were public.
Yeah. Well.
It could mean anything.
No, it actually came out 11 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. It's always 11 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's always 11 minutes.
Tiny thing.
To be fair, I was looking through his Instagram today, and the latest image that I could find was like maybe 6 months ago. So like if with that span of time, it would be well after the Barrowman stuff came out.
Yeah, the latest image was like 6 months ago. I could find nothing where he commented on anyone's posts. There are other posts attributed to him if you look on Google Images that use that icon rather than his current gorilla one. I think it was a gorilla currently. It does seem, although I'm surprised at his failure to use correct grammar, but whatever, Eccleston. It's probably real, but in this era where people fake anything, I take everything with a grain of salt. But even if it's real, it could mean just literally like I am not that person. Or it could be a commentary on Barrowman. And it could be a commentary on Barrowman in multiple ways that we don't even know. It's just kind of a meaningless tweet or Instagram because we have no context.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Here's the thing. if he was being polite about it, this has to have came out after that. Because if he was going to say, oh, yeah, I'm absolutely nothing like John, then he would have said John. But he said that individual, not even giving him the respect of saying his name.
I don't know that that means anything.
I think that's just like body language at that point.
I don't know. I mean, they definitely are different people. So
I couldn't even find any existence of Calvin Weston. This Calvin Weston's account. I couldn't find it either.
that is fair. I didn't.
People
look
change
for-
their handles all the time, too.
It's true, but I couldn't find any instance of its existence.
To be fair, we are in America. That's probably a British account. We have a hard time finding British accounts that aren't verified.
I'm not saying it's any evidence that it's not real, because I think it is probably real. I'm just
You know
saying
what?
that there's
I know how we can. I know how we can. I can do it right now.
How's it?
Go into Christopher Eccleston. You know what? I'm not going to say this online.
All right. Whatever you're doing. I'm
Yeah,
done.
he's plotting something. I don't know. I mean, it does seem Ed Brewer like it might be a slight at John.
It's impossible to say. It probably could
yeah.
be, maybe.
Yeah, with all that came out about John Barrowman's antics behind the scene, it definitely seems like something that a lot of people wouldn't take well. So,
But it's interesting to see it making the rounds now when it's clearly this post is bare minimum months old. And
I can't find them, which is weird.
It could be that this post is old enough that it was before the Barrowman news. We don't know. And it could.
Well, here's the thing. I looked up Calvin Weston. So if you go into like his Instagram page, Christopher Eccleston's Instagram page, and then press on his followers, it gives you an option to look. Like it brings up a search bar. You can actually search people who follow him. So I just typed in Calvin Weston, and it's either his account doesn't exist or it's just changed his handle.
Try Barrowman's Instagram.
Ooh, that's a good.
Since he seems to be more of a Barrowman fan, not a Eccleston fan.
that's fair.
I still like John Barrowman. Does that make me bad?
I loved his performances. I don't love his behavior. I think that, but I think honestly that is a behavior like between the people that was involved with. It's not really my business.
It's like John Barrowman, and I've seen him in person a few times. He's actually going to the con that Christopher Eccleston pulled out of, which might, I don't know. But
You going to the Tampa Bay one?
Yeah, Tampa. Yeah.
You mean the one right here that I just so happened to see?
Yeah, there you go. But as I was saying, yeah, he sounds like what you hear about theater kids just gone completely amped up to maximum level, and he just never dropped that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to condone it. I don't want to appear like condoning, because I think it is very aggressively wrong behavior, and I think it puts people in a really horribly uncomfortable situation. I think that he needs to make amends with those people. Does that mean that there should be no more production of his work? That's a debatable point, and it'd be interesting. It's interesting to see what people feel about that. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I think it would have to come down to the people who he actually harmed and offended and what they would want, which is not us.
No.
And it's hard for me not to like him and get past. It's hard for me to get over this because it's like, on one hand, he did some things gross. And on the other hand, I like what his performances, but also like what he's done for the gay community.
Dude, I know a lot of people who he managed to really bring a lot of joy to and a lot of positive reinforcement. I think it's unfortunate for those people, both of all ages, who may have felt harmed by his antics. It was juvenile behavior, and I think he should have had more of a sense of decorum and responsibility. However, he did what he did. The question then becomes, what is the path forward? And again, I think that comes down to the people he actually harmed, and I'm not one of them.
Yeah. But that's about that on that. I don't know. We only have a few more things left. And actually going ahead and talking about, just what he has done for the LGBT community. We can talk about RTD and how he deals with homophobic comments made his way.
That's interesting. I hadn't seen this comment.
I always thought I was a big old poof but sometimes I think I must be made some sort of steel because I read that stuff and it doesn't stop me. Not ever. This is why he's a king. RTD's a king. I'm going to say it. Fuck it. The guy who said it, his name's Lance Videos. I watched the thing on him, and you're right. RTD was right. He's an absolute Republican, Chris.
Cunt.
Yes, he is. Very much so.
Okay. Well, I mean, that I am definitely...
Now, is RTD ever wrong? Because anytime he says something that makes me go, yeah, I'm not so sure about this. And then I look into it, I go, fuck, he's right.
I mean, I can only, judging by what I'm looking at here, I just have a lot of admiration for him.
Well, have you heard his speech about when you dropped the T?
No.
It is a beautiful speech.
I'll look that up.
Yeah. It's because it's like when you drop the T in LGBT community, you actually kill because it suppresses voices and stuff like that.
Oh,
it's a beautiful speech.
No, I'll look that up.
I like the one he said about Loki. How it's just fake representation.
So good.
He's like, oh, they made Loki bisexual.
And an offhand comment.
And we're supposed to clap for Disney. I'm like, yeah, like that's the problem with Disney. And whenever they try to do stuff like this, it's the bare minimum, and it's not sincere. You're not really looking to give representation to certain groups that lack it. You're doing it to look like the good people. But we're the good corporation. Buy product now. Don't ask questions.
Meanwhile, we'll give money to politicians that will suppress the rights of the people that we're supposedly championing.
Please ignore the camps in China. That were next to Mulan, okay? Because we made Mulan.
Also, we're going to shrink down Finn in the Star Wars poster in China because they don't like black people over there. So we're just going to shrink him down and put him over in the back.
There's a character that did not get his due. Finn had so much potential.
Oh, yeah.
I think everyone had potential.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Dude, after episode 7, Finn was like crashed straight down.
I saw a meme where it was like a character so good, but sadly, he spends the entirety of 3 movies yelling, "Ray!"
Yeah,
and then they just they just throw stuff in randomly. Like just in the last film, he might be force sensitive. Sorry, this should have been alluded to in the first movie, then developed in the second one.
Well, speaking about potential, no one ever expects some of the things that we get to see.
Real quick, the chat, real quick. Ed Brewer, before we change the subject, Ed Brewer says homophobic, the fear of gay people / culture. I don't think these folks are afraid. You're right. They're just hateful. They're not actually afraid of them. They're just hateful.
Fear comes in many forms, I would say. Fear comes, it can be a form of fear. Fear of change, fear of replacement, fear of subversion. Is all sorts of kinds of fear. And yeah.
Yep. But speaking of potential, like we were saying before, no one ever expects what will really be announced at Comic-Con. And Comic-Con has come and passed, but one that no one ever saw was Evil Dan. Coming
Evil
from Marvel
Dan!
Studios. There we go.
Thank you, Kevin Feige. I'll forget about you torturing the hell out of your VFX artist because you gave us Evil Dan. Thank you.
What is Evil Dan?
Okay, so
You don't know the meme?
oh my god! Okay, so when Flux first the first episode came out, there was that scene he had with the museum curator girl that he likes, and he says, "What's the point of being alive if it's not to make others happy?" But someone took it and cut it, and so the meme that was sent around was, "What's the point of being alive?"
Dan became a villain at that point.
Yeah, and then there was the scene where like he's giving like stuff away to like charity. So someone reversed the scene, and it's him taking stuff from charity.
All right, I'm on board.
Yeah.
It was so good because like it was like so ubiquitous on Twitter that when I actually rewatched this episode 1 and he says the actual line, I was a little bit like, oh yeah, I forgot that's the actual thing he says because it's oh man.
But actually, this does lead to an actual conversation because apparently Disney is in talks to acquire the streaming rights for Doctor Who in its next series. Currently, it's on HBO, but I guess that contract is coming to an end, and thus it's looking for a new home. And Disney Plus just might be that.
You want to know why I think they're not going to get it? Although I wish they would. Actually, that's a lie. I wish they get the streaming rights to HBO and just let it keep pushing episodes there when they come out. But I think they're not going to give it to Disney Plus because of what we just talked about, the Finn thing. They don't. China apparently Disney thinks they're not marketable. Black people aren't marketable over in China. So, and he's our new lead.
You say that, but at the same time that they censored a poster of Black Panther by putting the mask on instead of the normal poster where you see Chadwick in his outfit, they also made him like their most like favorite actor of that year. So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
I don't think it might just be government.
BBC is going to put it wherever the money yeah,
BBC.
It's a game.
It's like
corporation game. So
speaking strictly personally, I mean, I'd love to see more things get under one umbrella because I've got too many streaming services. I need to start cutting things. It's too much.
Yeah,
So,
I don't like the monopoly that Disney has, but when it comes to streaming services, I'd rather there be one because there's too many. I'm not using them and I'm still paying for them. I should probably start canceling the subscriptions. But then every now and again they'll have something on there. It's like, okay, now I got to like watch it on this streaming service only.
Yeah.
Now here's the good thing. Here's the good thing about this though. If Disney gets it and puts it on Disney Plus, that is a big, big win because it is the second biggest streaming platform in the world, I believe. Yeah. If not,
more people get eyes on it. That means more people watch it.
But what they need to do is get it back on Netflix because here's the thing. 85 million people have Disney Plus. Over 300 million people have Netflix.
I'm waiting for
That's
Netflix
why
to
they
die,
need to get on Netflix.
So.
Well, Netflix is dying. They've lost over 2 million people this past quarter.
But it's not soon enough. It needs to meet its end because the idea of a streaming service, which was for a good while, and they still do put out some decent shows, decent television, and okay, that's good. But they have now just gone ahead and become the TLC of streaming services. We will approve 15 versions of The Freaking Circle. Come on! It's just trash. There's so much garbage.
You want a terrible adaptation of a beloved anime or manga? We got you back.
You want a Thor TV show where he's like a teenager in high school, but it's filmed with the quality of The Office? Sure, we'll give it to you. Ragnarok. We'll call it Ragnarok.
Ragnarok was great. What are you
I'd
talking
feel
about?
better about all this if Netflix hadn't turned down my TV show. It's talking about how they'll greenlight everything. Oh.
Oh, sorry, Landry.
Well, the thing is, they will greenlight anything that's terrible. So I
need to make worse properties.
You need to
Please do.
Landry, just look at a CWDC show and give them that. You will instantly, they will give you money for it.
Except for Superman and Lois, because that's actually like a really good show.
Except for that, yeah.
I'm hearing good things. I hear good things.
Superman and Lois and Stargirl are.
I just finished season 2 of Superman and Lois, and I can honestly say it is one of my favorite Superman properties in a long time.
I gotta say the fan base that I interact a lot with fan base from the Supergirl TV show, and they are some of those passionate and just interesting fans that I have encountered, and they speak with a lot of volume, and I feel they were really underserved with the relationship potential that existed between Supergirl and Lena. As a person who brought Lena into the modern world from a character that only appeared like 7 times in comics, and seeing that character get translated into TV, they did a lot of baiting with that relationship, and I think that was unfortunate because there was some good work in there and some good development. It just didn't see its potential.
Two things.
They instead gave it to the sister who just out of nowhere. Oh yeah, I'm actually gay because my relationships have been bad. Like, yeah, but I'm really sure that's not how that kind of works.
Yeah, maybe not. So I'm going with men as an alternative, or women as an alternative because men have been bad. No, how about just an organic relationship between people of chemistry? What were you gonna say, Jimmy? 2
things. One, the first 2 seasons of Supergirl are amazing. Absolutely love it. And 2, Eric's recent picture of Supergirl, amazing.
Oh God, he does. He does this stuff in like a day. I'll call him and say, hey, could you oh man, he drew this tattoo for my stepfather, and he just cranked out in like 2 hours. And it's a Star Wars tattoo that my stepfather wanted, and it's like 81-year-old guy going to a tattoo convention this weekend.
Well,
rad.
I'm not. If people are fans of the Supergirl TV show, that is their prerogative. That's all I can say.
I'm not a fan after season 2 because of what they did to.
I love the casting, and I think they had a lot of potential. I just think they didn't realize it.
What they did to Jimmy after season 2 is horrible.
That's not Jimmy Olsen. Anybody who says
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
I liked him as Jimmy. I like the different take, and Jimmy's one of my favorite characters. He's such a weirdo character.
I'm named after Jimmy Olsen.
But to take a weirdo character and then turn him into, look at me, I'm the strong, suave best friend of Superman. How you doing?
Definitely is a very different take on Jimmy. But I think it could all work. But for me, it all came down to Supergirl and Lena. I thought both of them were excellent cast, and they did excellent performances. I just think, they could have gone further with their relationship, but that's a debatable point.
That Starro episode with Superman, oh my God, where we're like, oh, Superman's coming, and then boom, he turns into one of them as well. Fantastic, loved it.
But yeah, that's the end of the conversation. The TLC of streaming services is all yours, Ed Brewer. When Netflix turns into an ash pit on the ground, I will be satisfied. But because they have turned themselves into the monster they've become. But that's about.
Real quick. I forgot to say one thing. Now, Disney Plus might actually be a really perfect home for it because Doctor Who is a family-friendly show. Disney Plus is the biggest family-friendly streaming service in the world. I think it's a perfect spot for it.
Wherever it gets the most attention, and my thing is Netflix has more subscribers, as you pointed out. It's like
I do think that it would be better on there. And plus, when it exploded around the world the first time, it was because it was on Netflix. Everyone who says, "Oh, I stopped watching," once it went off Netflix.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is just as viable of an option as Netflix.
You know
in my
what?
opinion.
Let's bring back Quibi. We'll put it on there.
10-minute episodes every time. You know,
I'm
it's
gonna
such a
unbox my Doctor Who toys right now.
okay. This is live
we're gonna
unboxing.
do show and tell now because we can talk about it. I was
This
looking
is
through some of my old stuff.
Almost adjacent. What's that?
Go ahead.
This is almost adjacent to the episode. Almost.
Oh, almost, yeah.
I mean, almost in that it's not, but it's close.
I mean, it's Doctor Who.
It's Doctor Who. I'm very
So-
excited about this.
Where did you? Is that the new Dalek stuff, or what is that?
No.
Here we go.
Oh, Silurians.
Yep, Warriors of the Deep. It's technically it's the 5th Doctor design of the Silurians. It's the first release of these guys as action figures of classic Silurians. We've got Sea Devils. We've had Sea Devils for a while, but this is our first look at, So
Is that the original color as well?
I'm colorblind, so that part's lost on me.
That's it.
I forgot that. Oh,
It's
Jimmy.
brown. It's brown.
Yeah, it's brownish, yeah.
So I'm pretty excited.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I got to show off later. At some point, I got to show off my vast Doctor Who collection. I've got almost all the action figures. So.
All right, Jimmy, it's your turn. Go ahead, show what you're going to show.
The first American appearance of Doctor Who in American comics. It is Marvel Premiere number 57. Interior art by Dave Gibbons, and exterior art by Walter Simonson. Which, if you look at it, it is a beautiful cover, man. Absolutely adorable. Love it. So, it's awesome.
Is that it?
I like this new show and tell section. We need to do this more often.
See,
We should.
it's not that I'm not impressed, but everybody in the audience, we saw this before we came live, so it's all news
Not
to
the
me.
toy. I literally opened it just now.
Exactly, he saved it, Jimmy.
Here,
I could still be impressed. Way to go, Jimmy. I believe in
Wow.
I found it's a bottle cap from a water bottle.
you. Love the
From a
bottle
doc-
cap.
was it
Rumor
from a
has
Doctor
it-
Who-
Rumor
is it
has
Doctor
it.
Who one?
Yeah. No, the rumor has it he was drinking that water and lost the bottle cap at that moment while watching Doctor Who.
Actually, you know what? I was probably watching Doctor Who because I watched Cold War last night.
It does, Ed Brewer. You are correct.
Star
Even
Wars.
I can tell this.
I have 4, actually.
Let's see that cover one more time. Let's
Sure.
look at that scarf.
Take a look.
It just ties the whole thing together. It fills up the space, and it just everything about that. It just really works. You're
Should
right.
I pull out the? Should I pull it out and show the interior art?
If you feel comfortable.
I mean, I'm on board with it.
Too late. We're doing it. There is a actual page I love where the Doctor is getting shot from a giant tank. I can't find it, but
We're gonna trust.
I'm just flipping.
Just show us some art.
Wow, holy crap. Oh my gosh, the first time the Doctor appears on American television sets produced by an American company, he gets shot down by machine guns, and the first time that he appears in an American comic book, he's shot by a tank.
Nice. God,
That
that
is
art
true.
is beautiful. It is beautiful art. No.
You don't know how I found this out, actually. It is by C.B. Cebulski's newsletter, the editor at Marvel. He said this was a mistake. He doesn't think Doctor Who should ever be a thing that Marvel publishes. And he said because
He's wrong about so many things.
I know. Well, he was like, it just doesn't. He says Doctor Who doesn't work in the comic book format, and I go, you are so wrong.
And look at his power. He's wrong about a lot of things.
Yeah, you know, like a white guy pretending to be a Japanese person.
That's what I was gonna go with. Yeah.
That doesn't
What?
fit.
What just happened?
You don't know about that?
No.
The Akira, it's infamous. The Akira Yoshida stuff.
Yeah.
So CB Cebulski, when he was working in Japan, went under a pen name, Akira Yoshida, pretending to be a Japanese person.
I think it's even worse than that. I think he was working with Marvel in some kind of editorial capacity, and he brought in a freelancer that was actually himself under a Japanese name. It was supposedly an authentic Japanese voice, so he was bringing an authentic Japanese perspective on the work that he was doing. Yeah.
And this guy's like, yeah, Doctor Who doesn't work as a comic. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he should fuck off.
What a shit!
I'll never work for Marvel, I guess. Yeah. I
mean, CB, look at your current lineup of comics. They're not good either.
No, that's some evil stuff.
None of them are working as comics.
Remember when what was that lady? She was Asian, and she basically called out CB Cebulski for being racist, and then he offered her a job, and then she took back all their stuff she said about it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, she
Uno reverse card.
Yeah, she was right, and coincidentally, she was writing for an Asian character. They gave her an Asian character, and apparently this is just typecasting.
Because
I guess at the time, Greg Pak was just too busy.
I don't mind them bringing.
He's their go-to. He's their go-to for like Asian characters.
One of the problems about going, okay, we want an authentic voice, which is good. You want an authentic voice on the character if you want. When you start seeing that applied universally, like how about we have a black person write Batman? How about we don't just have black people write the black characters and the Asian people write the Asian characters? I'd like to see
exactly
these voices write the white characters too. Because there's a lot you could bring to from a diverse perspective to these characters.
Ridley, what's his name? Other DC universe history, other history of the DC universe. Something Ridley, the Emmy winner or Oscar winner, is not writing for Batman. And you know what?
Let's try and find it.
Something Ridley.
No, it's not. No, not John. It's not John Ridley.
Who's Pixel? Looks like he just. Yeah, I can't take this anymore. Give me the
I have to put it behind my screen, okay? It's a very little room that I'm working out of.
That's a choice you make.
Chris is doing the research. I can see it in his face.
The research. Yeah.
The other history of the DC universe is the comic that he wrote.
Oh yeah.
It is John Ridley. Yeah.
John Ridley. First off, that book is horrible. But he ended up going to do Batman. As we know, he's a white character. But his voice on Batman, I think, was actually a really good take. I liked it. Just like Brian Edward Hill wrote one of my favorite Batman stories of all time. And he's black too. I don't think it matters what you look like. If you can write a good story, you can write a good story.
Yeah. Absolutely. But
that's
it's the danger of I do think there is a value in terms of somebody who has a cultural experience or a cultural background and having them give an authentic tone to that character. There is a value to that. But we pigeonhole people and we say, no, okay, maybe the black author doesn't want to only write the black characters. Maybe they want to write Superman. Maybe they've got a great Superman story in them. So we create a new box that we are putting minority creators in. And I've seen this happen. I've seen this happen with creators that I know who are like, I don't want to just do that thing. I'm not just the black comics writer. I'm a comics writer.
That's what Christopher Priest said literally a couple years ago.
I was about to mention that. Yeah, Christopher Priest. That's why he got Deathstroke. He's like, okay.
No. It was right before Deathstroke. It was John Walker, U.S. agent. They gave him that book.
This is a side thing, but apparently I don't know which book it is. But Christopher Priest is the writer for it, and Black Adam has named a successor which will act as a hero and redeem him. It's a black character. He has gone ahead and named him White Adam. He has his all white suit. It's very
he's poking fun at it, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Because he made a parody version of Black Panther called Red Lion. He's making fun of the character.
That's amazing.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I'm a white male writer who's mostly success. Most of my success comes from writing female characters. I think that whoever is white.
What's that say about you, though?
Says I'm taking jobs away from other people. I've been told that on books I created because I don't want to be pigeonholed. I also don't. I think there's a danger if we only have white male authors only write white male characters. Like that creates a new problem as well.
It's going to be 90% white male people writing books instead of more diversity than
we need
now.
More diverse creators, but we also need more diverse characters.
It's also a danger because it means that Brian Michael Bendis can write more iconic white male characters. So let's go away from that. Anything to go away, sure.
No, but you can say that, but without Brian Michael Bendis, we wouldn't have got Riri Williams, Miles Morales. Okay, what Pixel? What's that face?
Riri Williams, her original character before they actually did hire a new writer to write her was
awesome.
Atrocious. No.
I loved it. I loved it.
I didn't read any of it.
She was god awful.
Landry, I liked it.
I'm sorry. You cannot tell me that a character who is 4 years old and speaks to her teacher saying, when hearing, you could be anything you want. And she says, I want to be Iron Man. That is her entire motivation. That's a terrible. That's,
when I was 4, I said I wanted to be
a lot of kids wanted to be Iron Man.
No, but the thing is, what's worse is that she only wanted to achieve this by being discriminated against.
Well, no. That's not exactly right. It's okay. She's hyper obsessed and on the spectrum. She has autism. That was very much a thing. So autism people, because I've worked with them, they have a hard time letting things go. So if it's not supposed to go the exact same way in her head as it was originally planned, she's not going to let it go. So when she said, she had this idea of her teacher was going to be like, you can't be Iron Man. So when her teacher just went, okay, yeah, you can try that. Do what you want. She kind of fell back onto that autism spectrum of, oh, well, it didn't go in my head. I need her to do what I thought she was going to do. Otherwise, I'm going to probably have a meltdown. It was literally like that. It wasn't just, I need her to be racist to me.
Yeah, I'm lost on this one because, I said, I haven't read it. But
Jimmy just loves Brian Michael Bendis. I don't know why.
He's the king. He's the king, bro. No one is more influential than Brian Michael Bendis in the early 2000s up until about 2015. No one.
I read his...
That's not exactly the beginning of comics.
No, but think about it. Think about it, though. He himself, he was there with... he was there, Matt Fraction, Rick Remender, Ed Brubaker, all these, Jonathan Hickman, all these giant creators alongside him. Yes, they're not Stan Lee or Jack Kirby.
Okay, you got to consider. I was working with Ed Brubaker at Comic Relief. I was on books with Remender in 1999 at SLG Publishing. I don't think of these people as giants. These are just dudes working on comics.
Well, those are your friends, but to us, the little people, these people are actually giants in the comic book for comic book industry for the early 2000s and up. He stood above all of them.
Okay, let the writer speak.
I'm just saying that you have there's just dominoes in a chain. We're all just dominoes in a chain if you want to go down that line. And I'm not saying that Bendis didn't do some really great work. I thought his Ultimate Spider-Man, I read about 100 issues of that, which is unusual for me with some of this more modern stuff. I thought it was excellent work. I think he's done some excellent work. I think he's also done some overblown work that just goes on and on and on and is just, dude, edit button, delete some of those words. You got too much on the page. But
you know what's funny about that? He writes a lot of words, but you know how he types on his keyboard?
Oh yeah, no, I do the same thing. I think that I'm a believer more in the tone that less is more, and that guy just like let
Think
the
about
art
it.
speak. Let the art speak a little bit.
Which ties into somewhat talking about Chibnall, because he approaches that way with writing too. He wrote an entire episode that is one massive lore dump of the master explaining to the doctor, "You're timeless." There you go.
Yeah, it's
but like
less
think
and
about
more
it.
than-
Think about it.
And this does
Even-
also some great work.
Even without his writing, he found the person who, after he became not the biggest person at Marvel, he physically found the person who would take his place to being the biggest, Jonathan Hickman. He found Jonathan Hickman and said, Marvel, you need to get this guy because he's going to be the biggest name in comics. And Marvel's like, we've never heard of him. He's only written one story, which was the weather. Oh, crap. What was it called? The Weather Channel or something like that. Weather Report. I can't remember the exact name of it. And they were like, and he was like, I don't care. This is the best book out on the market. And they said, fine, we'll let him do it if you put your name on the title and work with him on a book to kind of like teach him through it, which then became Secret Warriors for the Ultimate line. And you know what? Brenda said, he said, my name shouldn't even be on the title because Jonathan Hickman did all of the work himself and he killed it.
See, the thing is this is where we get fundamentally different perspectives. Is your youth of your time of youth of entering into comics and reading comics and the comics that were really pivotal for you, from my perspective, all in this when comics hit this deep decline. They hit this deep decline in sales, in distribution, and stores. We're coming after Marvel's bankruptcy, and we're coming at a point where the creators started serving themselves more than they did the stories and more than they did the industry. You name a bunch of creators that came in and made the books less accessible to a majority. To the minority that they appealed to, those books rocked. Those books hit hard. Those books are just amazing books.
Can you explain how they did that? Because I genuinely don't know.
How they became less accessible?
Yeah.
Because you start getting multi-issue story arcs across multiple titles in a lot of cases. That's one of the things I did like about Ultimate Spider-Man. It was consolidated to that book. You could just read that book and you're done. But most of the stuff that's coming out, and a lot of stuff done by people I know, were done in ways that, and I don't know how much of it was them and how much of them that was the business decisions behind it, but you couldn't just jump onto books casually. The done in one issue, which is a format that works great in the periodical format, died. Where you come in, you read an issue, and you got a complete story. And what happened is sales, people applaud sales of 25,000 now. 10, 15 years ago, 25,000 was cancellation, long past cancellation. 20 years, like go further back, 80,000 was bad. I mean, I was back in 2002, 1999, I was working on a magazine where we had a distribution. My comics were selling out to like 3 to 5 million copies. And now we are dealing with an industry who's celebrating 20,000 copies sold. It is bad. And this was a huge point of it. Even though you've got these creators who did amazing work, you have to question, was this the time? Was this the place? And was this the method? It worked for the small group and they love it. Like the stuff you're talking about, you loved it, but the majority of the world tuned out, moved to video games and the internet.
Well, to be fair, the time I'm talking about, Marvel just hit bankruptcy. And this was like right as Marvel Knights just came into play because Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti came in and were like, we're going to do some shit. Yeah. And then they took over the big part and boom, brought everything back. That's because I think you're right, but also at the same time, you could be a little wrong because sales did swarm back up. But also on the same time, I saw a meme which I think relates really well, was a picture of Jim Shooter, and the caption says, "What, you're selling less than 250,000 copies? You're fired. You're never going to work in comics again." And then a picture of C.V. Cebulski, and it said, "What, your book's selling under 10,000? That's okay. We'll just give you a new title, reboot it to #1, you will be fine."
Yeah. There's more I could say on all that. But long story short, it's I don't know how we got there, but
I don't remember.
Bendis is an amazingly talented writer. I want to be clear. I do have high respect for Bendis. I think that sometimes he writes too many words.
Yep.
I mean, there are quite a few creators you could look at that, as time went on, that I think that what they once did, yeah, that's great, but somewhere along the way, it lost what made them great, and it became almost like a living parody of themselves.
Well, yeah, that's why I read Bendis. Like, I read Bendis the same way some people still read Frank Miller, because they're hoping they get a little bit of that nostalgia back, like, oh, I'm picking up a Frank Miller book. But they're also hoping for, this could be old Frank again. This could be really freaking good, like old Frank. And now for me, I'm reading Bendis because I'm still hoping a little bit for old Bendis. I'm not holding out hope, but it still feels good to me. It still feels good to me just to pick up right off the stand a Bendis book.
I'm going to tie this back to Doctor Who real quick, because this is how I think a lot of people are interfacing with Russell T Davies. It's going to be interesting. Are we going to see a return of this great era of Doctor Who, or are we going to see a Dark Knight Strikes Back? Which, honestly, I love. I love all that Frank Miller stuff. It's a very different book than Dark Knight Returns, and it should be. He's a very different person when he made those books, and he continues to be a very different person with very different ideas than he had. Why tread the same ground? And will Russell T Davies tread water and do like what people want him to do, is bring Doctor Who back to what it was? But for him, would that be creatively treading water, or will he try to do something really different? But will people wanting this old thing feel like they've lost something? Will they feel like that Russell T Davies went the Frank Miller route? Which, again,
well, RTD did say he's only coming back because he can do different storytelling.
I am going to say that while I don't agree with liking anything Bendis does right now, especially, but with Frank Miller, I am going to be picking up his new Sin City book that he's working on for his publishing company.
Oh, there's another Sin City book.
Yeah, he's working on Sin City. What is it? It's supposed to be set in like the 1800s. I'm going to be getting that. There's no doubt. But that's another route. We should tie it back to Doctor Who. Chris, please, we need to get to the review.
We look so bored
Yes.
right now.
But anyway, that is our news for this week. Now into our review. Our news this week.
Conversation about comics.
Yes.
Sorry.
But for this week's live stream, we decided to review the Third Doctor story, The Curse of Peladon.
Oh my god, we are an hour in.
Yeah, we're an hour into this. The first of, two, since Peladon only appears in this and the Monster of Peladon, but there's quite a few expansions after this. There's the Prisoners of Peladon, there's the Legacy novel, there's the Peladon box set that came out earlier this year. So
I hear great things.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Jimmy's
I got bored. I got bored and I couldn't finish it. Almost like this episode we're talking about.
So, who would like to start off their thoughts on The Curse of Peladon?
Me. Oh, go ahead, Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy for once. Jeez, he never wants to go first.
Well, I can do this. I can do quick and simple. It was really bad. I didn't like it. I fell asleep. It was really boring.
Okay.
I started watching it at 4 today, giving me enough time to get here. So I had 4 hours. And I watched the first episode and a half, and I couldn't get into it. And normally this is weird for me because I really, really, really like Pertwee. And normally Pertwee draws my attention into liking the episodes, even if it's just for his charisma alone. But for some reason, this one alone, I just couldn't get into it. And obviously my brain just made me go,
I'm just going to say that I love Miranya's comment. We've been affected with appendicitis. Took over an hour to get to the review. But you know, I'm going to say the opposite. I really like this episode, and I didn't expect to. You know, I was agreeing that it was a little slow, but something about it is compelling. There's something to the world of Peladon that has intrigue in it. And to see the Doctor work around, you have ice warriors in here who, while they are usually characterized as the villains of the story, they're the good guys. If you think about it, we are trying to work with the Federation, and this is a plot. Yeah, no, there's so much to go on here. I mean, yeah, you have the stupid, Alpha Centauri? Oh, gosh, he's annoying. But that costume design with the blinking eye, like you can see the eye move, there's something, it has this vibe to it that it has classic sci-fi to it because it is classic sci-fi, and this is those key points that you just zoom in on.
Are we even surprised that you like this episode? Because like anytime I don't like an episode, you seem to like it, and anytime you like an episode, I don't like it. It's just there's very few times where we both agree and go, you know what, this episode slaps. Nope. Not that we're back to the same old.
The second Doctor box set we agreed earlier. But
yeah, we did. That is amazing. That's amazing.
I'm going to jump in. I agree with Pixel completely. I love this episode.
I'm just going to fuck off.
He's gone. I love this episode. I love exactly what you said about the Ice Warriors. Just immediately grabbed me the first time I saw this episode. I love that they're a great setup because, there's there's going to be somebody as a villain working behind things. You think, yeah, they're always the bad guys. Nope. I love them as the good guys. I love that we get to see the Ice Warriors are the Doctor Who enemy that aren't always an enemy. And I think that's great. I like the court politics of Peladon. There's some budget issues, and the octopus monster is one of them. No doubt there. That is a problem. The Doctor straight up calls Joe stupid, I'd like to point out. It is so like just ballistic in its writing. And it's a mystery. It's a classic mystery. I think it goes on a little too long. The effects are the effects of the time, and those are hard to get through at times. But I really liked it.
And you talked about the court politics. It made me think of another John Pertwee story as well, the Time Warrior. With the courts, but with there was two different courts at that time, and it was really cool because one was kind of like normal as we'd expect, and the other one was like brutish, and we got to see different types of rulings, and I liked that. But for this one, it's just boring.
Listen, with this episode, though, it feels like, with the politics of Peladon, it has this classical aspect to it, which almost feels medieval, but it's supposed to be high in the future. It's like a perfect blend of it, and you have to respect that. Yes, the Federation would like you to go ahead and free Doctor of his crimes because the Doctor didn't know what he was doing, but this is how we do things on Peladon, and we have to respect that. It's just so good.
I enjoy it. I mean, Jimmy, I do want to say, I love Time Warrior. And this is no Time Warrior. Though I did really like this one. I'm not going to say that it's a Time Warrior episode. I'm not going to go.
I wasn't saying that it was either, but I was making the contrast. Yeah. Okay.
I know you weren't. I just want to say that though I liked this, I'm not going to hold it in the class of Time Warrior. But I did enjoy it. I love the politics. It would be amazing to see Peladon revisited with a modern budget on film with like the grandiosity that it deserves of this federation, this galactic like union that's either at its peak or forming or at its when it's collapsing, any era, but with that kind of Flash Gordon like
Star Wars Episode 1 graphics. Yes.
Chris.
No, but I did gotta say, this is also another episode that is a product of its time. Because he does say kind of a transphobic thing in it. He says a person is not a person; it's an it. It's a hermaphrodite.
Yeah,
Hermaphroditic,
Alpha Centauri. Yes, but that's what they would say back then. So it's...
I think that was an attempt at progressiveness. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think by modern standards, it sounds
Because Joe's
really
like-
toned down.
Because like from my point of view
is he a
here,
she?
it sounds bad.
What's that, Chris?
Well, Joe says, well, is he actually a she? And the doctor corrects it. It's actually a hermaphroditic octopod. They referred to as them.
No,
So-
he says
he said it.
actually
Oh,
it's
as it, yeah.
But it's not to imply that Alpha Centauri is therefore like an object or even something different. Yes, they're an alien, but that's what they are. This is
Terminology was different at the time.
Yeah.
Because okay, now that you say that, yes, but like it for me, like when I went to college, just the word hermaphrodite is literally just a bad word. Like people on campus would
Yeah,
be pissed
it
if
just
you said
wasn't
that.
in the 70s. It wasn't. It was like it was perceived differently. Plus, we're not talking about a human. We're talking about an alien creature with both sets of sexual characteristics.
True.
You know,
And is it if I'm not mistaken, aren't octopuses and squids, can't they change their gender if they can't find a mate?
I don't
can
know.
switch
Maybe.
the octopus is an Alpha Centauri though.
Well,
Unless-
it's based on like human knowledge. It's an octopus, but on a real life planet somewhere else, they probably don't even have octopuses. So they're making aliens based off of what we know on Earth. So when they said both sexual traits, I'm thinking they probably got that because I believe octopuses can change their gender if there's no mate around.
It's possible. I don't know.
No, it's not octopuses. Those are that's a certain type of fish, yes, but it's also frogs, certain amphibians.
There
No,
are certain-
obviously. I'm googling it.
Google it. But Chris, what did you think of the episode? And you're going to be the person who knows the lore, I think, better than anyone.
Yeah.
I'm
So
interested in your-
it's interesting because we have two that loved it, and then Jimmy.
First off, screw you. Second off, I'm right. It actually does.
There you go.
You learn something new every day.
All right, I'm gonna mute. Go ahead, Chris.
But I thought this episode was okay. I really did enjoy the lore of Peladon and kind of how integral it was essentially to the plot because of what was happening. And then you had the High Priest Hepish like using the kind of the superstition of their like religion, the religious side of Peladon to try and make sure that they don't join the Galactic Federation. But then you have Peladon himself, the king, wanting to move past that. It's like, no, this is for the betterment of the people or stuff like that. For something that could have just been, Peladon could have not been explored in a future episode. Like the monster of Peladon could have not have happened. It gives quite a bit of the history of Peladon in just a single story. I really enjoyed that. The subversion of the Ice Warriors, that was interesting because like from what we've seen in previous episodes, they're the antagonists, they're the villains, and even the Doctor himself said is like, I've faced them before. They're no good. It's obviously they're going to be the ones behind what's happening, and it turns out no, they're not. The Ice Warriors have changed. They're no longer kind of the warlike race, but they will still use weapons just for self-defense. They're not fully to the side of pacifism. I think the story itself, it could have been shorter. It was fine. I do like the Joe and Doctor stuff. I do like how quick they adapt to being in Peladon. Just like, oh, you're the Earth delegate. The Doctor's like, yes, I am. I'm here. And like Joe just instantly acts as royalty because they need a way for her to be there. She can't be there if she's not if she's not a delegate or of royal blood. So she just quickly snaps into the role. I do enjoy those aspects, but I think overall I thought the story was okay. It was fine.
I think that also ties into what Landry said about it being adapted for New Who, a new set for Peladon. That would actually be quite fitting. We were talking about how it should be short. Like, oh, geez, Jimmy, how it should be shorter. If it was a 60-minute episode, maybe the flow of it would hit better. It's possible. I'm really excited to check out Peladon now with the box set. I heard it's the best Big Finish release of this year, but I
didn't like it, so obviously you're gonna love it.
I'm just fine. But that being said, now that you actually have some more insight on Peladon, because I forgot a lot of this. When I binge watched all of Who, it was right before Jodie, and that's been a lot of time now. So
that's horrible because you got to watch so much great stuff leading into what we got.
But I actually did get to finish with Survival, so I was actually set up for some horrible Doctor Who. But but that's another matter. That's another topic for another day.
Landry, you look like you have to pee. Are you okay?
No, I'm just sitting there. I'm just agreeing about Survival.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to say things. I can't say things because
that's
what
another.
Can I say?
That's another. It's another video to go into.
So we doing Survival next week, guys?
Oh no, I'm busy.
The dice have to decide. We have that ruling now.
The dice have to decide. Yeah.
But I think that's all of our opinions. We should go into ratings. So Jimmy, you got to go first.
Oh yeah.
From what I saw, solid 5, maybe 4.5.
It's higher than I thought you were gonna give.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, considering you didn't like it.
It's not bad, but it's just not good.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I would give it a. Let's see. It was okay. It was fine. I would give it probably a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, so above average.
There are obviously in my ratings for it. There's obviously the product of its time, limitations, stuff that you can't help. But as for the story, the twists, the turns, how a new light for species that we've seen before, I mean, all of that, I think I'm going to have to give it a solid 9. It's so good to me, and it's just I could rewatch this probably in a month or two, and I'd still love it. I look forward to getting deep into Peladon lore now.
You got one story in a box set, and I know. Good luck trying to find Legacy.
Yeah,
you give this a 9, and it pisses me off, Pixel.
I'm giving it a. I'm torn between a 7.5 and an 8. For me, I a lot of the same reasons for Pixel, but for his reasons for liking it. But I do withhold a little because Alpha Centauri hurt me physically, the execution, and and it's a little long. It's just a little long. Like it lacks concision, it lacks grandiosity that would have as a limitation of the budget at the time. So it's hard to fault it for that, but it just could have been less time and bigger at the same time. But I'm going to be generous and give it an 8. That's me really being generous and saying 8. I'm only giving one number.
That's surprising.
Wow, I'm surprised. I expected a couple too, but no.
Got to mix it up.
There we go. All right, Chris. I think that's everything.
Yeah, that is everything. And if you want to see the Alpha Centauri again, watch the Empress of Mars.
Is that the same person?
It's the same voice actor.
Really? That's pretty cool.
So Empress of Mars is kind of a prequel because it's to set up the Ice Warriors joining the Federation at the end.
That's fascinating. I want to watch all the Ice Warriors episodes in order. Would be great.
I gotta say, Ed Brewer. 4.5, 6.5.
You know what? Hey, yeah, I'll do the average real quick for you guys. I'll do the average. All right, we got a 4.5, 6.5, 9, and 8. That's 28. Divided by 4 is 7. Wow, you got that like dead on.
I know.
But I do have to say, guys, speaking of the Ice Warriors a little bit, I rewatched Cold War, the Matt Smith episode with Jenna Coleman.
Love Cold War. Love it.
I don't want to say this because you guys are never going to let me down. Okay? Never going to let it down. I think it's my favorite Mark Gatiss script.
Mark Gatiss is a great writer, Jimmy. You are number one. Gatiss.
You had it here first. Someone clip it.
Clip it. Clip it. Because I got done with it, I was like, that was really good.
Out there, what is your rating for this episode? I want to know your opinions.
That's
Have you
right.
seen it?
I don't know if Ed Brewer has seen it or Maranya, but
Ed Brewer just likes to stop by and just bully us.
The good thing about that, though, is that you know that this episode is divisive. So that means that the opinions you might share with one of us, you might share with the two sets of us, as it were, or you might have a completely different take. That's what's good.
You should have my opinion only, or you'll not have any respect.
Here's the thing, though. What are the commonalities that we agree on? What are the points that we would all agree on? Like, okay, who thought? Raise your hand if Alpha Centauri was not executed well. Just two of us, not
Pixel. Yeah, that's how we know he's wrong.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say.
Listen, not executed well. I understand that, and that was horrible. At the same time, I feel like we're talking about one of the aspects that I loved about it is that it is that classic sci-fi vibe, which definitely has one of those sets of characters. What could be argued is I think that the processed one, I can't remember what they're called, but that's basically like a Dalek, really.
One little Arcturus.
Yes, who was actually trying to sabotage Peladon, as it were. With that aspect of them, there was something to that. I think just a little more, a little bit of work there, and they could have been a little better. But Alpha Centauri is not a great character by any means. They're very annoying, but that's what they're there to be. I don't think if you gave it a deep voice, so I think the costume, as it were, while cheesy, that's one of the things that I love about it. So I can't fault it for that.
There's a lot of things that they're conceptually I could see. They reached beyond their means. Now there's a creature very similar in. Is it the first episode of Sarah Jane Adventures? An octopoid, one-eyed.
The Bane. Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw that and thought, is this somehow a relation to it's not, I don't think, but it could have been. They're very similar physically. We kind of see what a modern one might look like when we look at that, I think. And with modern effects, well, modern 15 years ago or whatever. But yeah, all right. Well, I was hoping we'd find common ground and satisfy Ed's.
And then there's Pixel.
But we can't find any. Okay, who appreciated the court politics angle of it?
Yeah.
There we go. One of us has to screw everything up, don't we, Jimmy?
Okay. Who liked John Pertwee in this episode? Are you kidding me, Lynn?
All right.
I knew he was doing that for the bit. Oh,
All
we're
right.
almost an hour and a half in, though, Chris. Please.
Oh, yeah. So that is it. That's our review of The Curse of Peladon. Thank you, everyone that joined for our live stream. What we're going to do next week, we don't know because we're going to decide after we end this live stream.
That's right.
Make sure to like, subscribe, all that. Probably have new videos soon, I hope. I'm just waiting for classic Doctor's New Monsters to come out. So
I'm working my way through Emancipation of the Daleks. It's 7 hours long.
I have a video I shot. I'm not sure if it can be pulled off editing-wise, but just to give you a sneak peek, my first time ever trying jelly babies.
all right, okay.
Title: American Tries Jelly Babies.
I tried them once.
They're not that good.
Don't spoil your video. Save it.
Yeah.
There's certain ones I like, but you don't know. But no, here's the thing. You guys are questioning my video, Chris. I saw that in Pixel. Just want a reminder. Who has the #1 viewed video on the channel? Just question.
I'm talking more about videos on this channel, not just videos on your channel.
No, I'm talking about on your channel. On our channel here.
On your combined
Yes,
channel.
but when I'm talking about we should have videos out soon, I'm talking about the channel, not our individual ones.
On our individual ones?
Not our individual ones. This.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's going to do jelly babies for here.
Yeah, because I'm going to tie it in with. I'm starting the video off. If I can do it. Just starting it off with like a bunch of clips of just what's it called when you put clips together? I'm forgetting the name of it.
Montage.
A montage. We'll say that. A montage of just Tom Baker going, "Would you like a jelly baby?" And then it just cuts to me going, "Yes, Tom, I would love a jelly baby." It's stupid, but whatever.
Oh,
sure.
Get the Matt Smith moment when he does it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, and the Eighth Doctor,
and the Master.
Oh, there's a lot
and every jelly baby company in the world.
All right.
That is it. That is it for the live stream. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you all next week.
Sorry to talk so much about comics.
Yeah, we'll try and do less of that.
I'll shut up more next time.
When we have a comics writer, we'll stop talking about comics and it'll be okay.
You can't get me started. I'm sorry.
No, I like talking about it too, so it's also my fault.
All right. See you next time. Alonzi.
Geronimo.